Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of About Lily Chou-Chou, a Japanese drama from 2001 that was directed by Shunji Iwai. So the story follows two boys, Shusuke and Yuichi, from the start of junior middle school, when they first meet, into the 8th grade, I believe. And the film has a discontinuous storyline, so it starts like midway through the story, and then it flashes back, and then it skips forward again. So the story focuses on how these kids deal with bullying and other pressures of growing up. Now, the opening text of the film is as follows, and I think this is kind of important. Quote, "She was born on December 8th, 1980 at 10:50 p.m. The exact time Mark David Chapman killed John Lennon. For me, though, that's just a coincidence. All I care about is that she was born at that exact moment. Her name, Lily Chou-Chou. Genius, or rather Genesis, the ether personified," unquote. So the first time I watched this film, which was back in like the mid-2000s, I did not like it. So fortunately, I gave it a second chance like in the mid-2010s, and I enjoyed it a lot more. So this is my third viewing of this. Now, one of the big reasons why I disliked the film the first time I saw it was that it uses a lot of message board texting that flashes across the screen. And a lot of it is what I call Psychobabble, which is short for meaningless psychological babbling. And it talks about stuff like, the ether and, various concepts that really are hard to make sense of. So here's an example, of one of these messages that pops up during the film. Quote, "Liberating our thoughts for that reason, she is. She shadows. She releases into the ether, sublimate its wavelengths, transcend the spectrum, reach the transparent beyond. A permeating image of pain fills the gaps of serotonin," unquote. So when I first saw this movie, I felt like throwing a brick through my television screen, listening to stuff like this, or reading it, I guess I could say. Because that kind of like nonsensical pontificating like gets on my freaking nerves. So, yeah. But the thing is, the whole movie isn't that. Alright? Those parts distracted me from the film's other many positives, which it does have. And to be fair, there are a few, positive aspects about this psychobabble. So, first of all, I would say that it does give the film kind of a unique, recognizable characteristic that helps to make it memorable. Because not a lot of films do this. It gives the film a certain personality, so to speak. Secondly, youth delinquency and cultish behavior are some of the themes of the movie. So the psychobabble reflects the distorted minds of these kids. So it does serve some type of a purpose. Third of all, there's a mysterious singer in the movie who popularizes this kind of thinking, which is an interesting angle to take for like a subplot. Now, if some of this stuff sounds familiar to you, the popular Japanese horror film Suicide Club uses similar, things, concepts, elements, whatever you want to call it. Now, the crazy thing is that Suicide Club and All About Lily Chou-Chou both premiered during the same month, October of 2001. I think one of them was at like a film festival, and the other one got a wide release in Japan, but it was the same month. In any case, this film does have a number of positives, as I said. Now, the attempt to address the issue of teenager angst and psychology, I think it's successful. All right. When the movie's over, you do get a feel for their discontent, and I think that was kind of important. So it does accomplish what it's trying to do. Character interaction is actually pretty interesting. I think the more traditional dramatic strengths of this film really begin to show up from like the 30 to 40 minute mark of the film. You get some actual relatable bonding between some of these male characters. They're clashing with other kids. They're trying to get some girlfriends, stuff like that. So there is a lot of real-world dynamics that are incorporated in this as well. It's not all pie-in-the-sky metaphysical garbage, There are some intense dramatic moments along the way, and the film does have an edge to it. There are some scenes that are fairly dark and uncomfortable, so just be wary of that before going into this. But in a nutshell, I do feel like the content in this movie is dense enough to hold my interest. There's enough here to keep me engaged with the film during its rather long 2-hour and 26-minute runtime. But I feel like the last few times I've watched this, I've been pretty absorbed by it, really, for most of the runtime. So that's good. Now, in terms of acting, there are a few recognizable faces like this. Like, for example, Yu Aoi has a fairly significant supporting role during the second half of the film. And there's a few other faces you'll recognize. But, like I said, Shunji Iwai directed this, so it's going to have a certain style and a unique feel that comes with most of his movies, at least his earlier stuff. Very nicely shot. The music is very good. We get some handheld camera work mixed in. There's like a grittiness to a lot of the urban locations, but there's also a lot of beauty in the rural location. That gives everything kind of like a nice balance in terms of visuals and feel. So, this film I do recommend, all right? But I would say it's more of an art house flick. It's more of an art house flick than a mainstream flick. So you need to be open to kind of a unique presentation before going into this, all right? But a lot of people like it. It does have a pretty large internet fan base, so I think this is one to check out. It's currently available streaming on a variety of websites. It's pretty widely available, actually. So let me know what you think if you've seen it or you decide to watch it. And as always, I will see you next time.